welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Xoxo, this is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's reading we are doing a highly requested, well not highly requested, I saw a couple of you requesting this and I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. We are asking, what is the answer to your yes or no question or questions? So this reading is going to be really straightforward, pretty transparent, shorter than normal, but essentially with the tarot deck that you choose, I am going to shuffle on camera, and depending on, and I am going to include reversals, and I'm going to pull 5 cards. If 3 or more cards are upright, then the answer to your question is yes. If 3 or more cards are reversed, then the answer to your question is no. Then after we have that first answer, we're going to go into why. And the why is really important. The why is going to be answered by what is actually on the cards that are upright and reversed. And if the why doesn't make sense for your question, that is a sign to pick another group. Because if the why doesn't make sense, then it's not the answer to your question. If you can make it make sense and it sounds right, then good, fine. But if the why that I'm answering sounds like it doesn't make any sense to the question you're asking about, pick a different group. But let's say the why does make sense, but you're not happy with the answer that you got. We're also going to be asking, can the answer to this question change? Now I'm going to warn you, I didn't realize how confusing this question would be. So if using a separate deck, I'm going to once again shuffle upright and reversed and ask if the answer to this question, whatever answer it is, yes or no, can it change? If the card comes out upright, then the answer is yes. The answer to your question can change, so it can become the opposite. And whatever is on the card will describe how the answer can change. If the card comes out reversed, then the answer is no. The answer you just got is the only answer to your question. There cannot be another answer, and the context of the card will explain why. And then we'll just finish off with some guidance for this situation moving forward. So I already filmed the readings. I have no clue if they'll make sense. I hope they do. But yeah, thank you for being kind to me if they are not. It's just what I felt called to do, and I wanted to try something a little bit different. I hope it makes sense. So we have 5 different groups for you to choose from here today, starting with group number 1. We have this Lepidolite Tower and the 5-cent Tarot. And then for group number 2, we are going to be using the Muerte Tarot, and I have this ruby aura-coated quartz tower on top. And then for group number 3, we are going to be using the Omni Tarot, and I have this Aquamarine tower on top. And then for group number 4, we are going to be using the Weird Cat Tarot, and I have this yellow Fluorite tower on top. And then finally for group number 5, we are going to be using the High Tarot by Dan Francis, and we have this zebra stone tower on top. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. You might want to take a second and, like, if you're going to ask more than one question, maybe assign one question to one group and one question to another, just to avoid confusion. But there is based on how the cookie crumbled, there's a lot of room for confusion in this reading. So I'm hoping that it was clear. I hope I was very clear. But intro squad, sound off. I have a question. What is an example of a miracle happening in your life? It could be anything, any sort of miracle. What is an example of a miracle that has happened in your life? And if you can't think of one, then just affirm that you're a miracle magnet. Because I think we all should be manifesting some miracles. And I think that this is the season of miracles. Maybe I'm going to watch the hockey movie Miracle. Probably not, because I had to watch that a lot when I was little with my brothers. And I wanted to watch Barbie movies. And it was a miracle if I even got to put one on the screen. Because I had to watch so many damn sports movies. Okay. But anyway. Real true problems. But That being said, I would love to hear an example of a miracle that has happened in your life, or a miracle that you know about, maybe word of mouth. I'm in miracle mode. It'll be a miracle. Well, it will not be a miracle. I was about to say it'll be a miracle if this resonates. I'm like, girl, shut up. Like, it'll be right for the people it's right, and it'll be wrong for the people it's wrong. And most people are wise enough to know if something's not for them, that they don't have to be so mean about it. Most people are normal, so I don't know why I'm worried. It's a silly thing. Anyway, it'll be a miracle if I can quit yapping. So that's where I'm going to leave this intro. We're going to go ahead and get into the readings now. So once you have picked your group or groups, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose this gorgeous Lepidolite tower and the 5-cent tarot, this is going to be your reading on answering the question, or answering your yes or no question. So while I'm shuffling, if you just want to go ahead and focus on the cards and focus on the question at hand, if it's helpful, maybe even write it down, and maybe even write down what you think the answer is. It might be helpful. If you skip the intro, I explain how I will be determining yes and no there, and the why of yes or no will be the energy check portion. So if you get an answer, you know, a yes or a no, that doesn't really sound right, and then I'm explaining why, and the why really doesn't sound like it pertains to your question, I would definitely pick a different group. But I hope that this reading is helpful. I hope that this shuffling is satisfying. And I hope that if you do like the video, you leave me a little like, a little comment, a little subscribe. Turn that little notification bell on. Maybe share me with your friends. I don't know. Just thank you for being here. Okay. So, focusing on your question. Pile 1's question, Spirit. What is the answer to pile number 1's question? Is the answer yes, or is the answer no? Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. Is the answer to pile 1's question yes or no? We have the Page of Cups upright and the Hermit upright. Is the answer to pile 1's question a yes or a no? We have the Three of Pentacles upright. So the answer is a yes. Let's just get one more because you have 3 or more upright. So finally, Spirit, is this answer a yes or a no, and why? Okay, so let's see here. So the answer is a yes. You have 4 cards upright and 1 card in reverse. And the answer of why, let's see why. I'm just hearing that you're ready for it. It seems like there's a lot of stability here, and that you've already cultivated for yourself. And if you're asking about a particular situation, like a career decision or a risk you should be taking, it doesn't even seem like it's really a risk. It seems like you're very sure on what you want. And it also seems like you've put yourself in a position where even if this situation wouldn't work out, it's no sweat off your back. I see here as well that there's something very exciting about whatever this question is. And I think that the only reason you might be questioning it is because it might be a little bit impulsive, or you might not be sure that you trust yourself or trust this situation. I think that's understandable, but one thing that I'm hearing here is that there's a lot of people that are here to help you out. And also, I think that whether you realize it or not, you know what you want here. I feel like a lot of the reason why this answer is a yes is because you're ready for it, is because you're ready to make this happen, or you're ready to make a decision or ready to receive something. You know, if this is an answer to a question that's outside of your control, it seems like you're in a position to receive it. And you're also in a position where if you didn't receive it, it wouldn't be a big deal. I definitely see here that you don't need to figure anything else out. There's no extra, I feel like you've been thorough. You've not only been thorough, but you're not in this alone. Like, whatever this question pertains to, I can definitely see that it's somewhat exciting. And while you might be uncertain of where it might lead you or how it might affect you, I think you know deep down it's time to say yes to this. So maybe you're waiting for someone else to say yes. No matter what, the answer is yes. And I definitely think that you might be underestimating how ready you actually are for this. And I think one thing you need to know is that if you are worried about this decision or this answer creating a loss of self, like for example, you know, maybe if you're asking a question where you're afraid you would lose your individuality, or, you know, it is a question where like you would be entering more of a group space. I feel like part of you is maybe worried you might be swept up in the crowd, or what if you're not thorough enough? And then you realize like, oh, maybe this isn't my people, or maybe this isn't my spot. Well, even if that happened, you would be fine once you realized it. You could pivot, you could make a decision, and it will be okay. If you are not in a secure position, if you're feeling unfulfilled, or if you are feeling like things need to change, then I would say this yes is telling, like, one of the reasons why this answer is a yes is because this could be bringing you what you desire. I definitely think that there is you've learned, or you will learn, how to strike a healthy balance between individual action and group action. And I think that there is a level of wisdom within you that you don't realize you already have. It's like, I can't think of a good example, but what I'm trying to explain is like, let's say you're a world-class pasta maker, but you never have the opportunity to make pasta. Maybe there's no kitchen. Maybe you live with people that have a gluten intolerance. I don't know. But for whatever reason, you haven't made pasta in years, and you think, oh, well, you get this life-changing opportunity to make all the pasta for people who like gluten. Well, I don't know why you didn't just go get like gluten-free. Well, that's not the point. Okay. And you think you're not ready for it, and then the time comes and you make pasta and it's fucking Italian hands. It's fantastic. Fantastico. I don't know. What do Italians say? Oh, bravo. Brava? I don't know. I don't know Italian. But what I do know is that you underestimate your ability to succeed in situations that you have more than enough. You have more than enough wisdom on, and you have the skills and the ability to rise to challenges as they come. I also think you underestimate how likable you are. I feel like you're part of what you're afraid of is like rejection, or if this is related to collaborative work in some way, that you won't get along with other people. You know, maybe if you're liked, maybe you won't really like some of the other people around you, and I don't think that will be as big of a deal as you're thinking it will be. Overall, this answer is not only a yes, but it's an emphatic yes. It's a yes, and everything will be okay. Yes, and you don't need to question this. Yes, and say that shit with your chest. Getting some Ariani in there. But even though this is a yes, we should go ahead and see whether or not this answer can change. So for that, depending on if this card is upright, then that means yes, this yes can change, and we'll see how it can change. And if it is reversed, that is a no. This answer can only be yes, this yes is not going to change to a no, and we'll look at why. So we're going to shuffle a little bit again. And I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. I think a lot of what your fears are when it comes to this question are fears about a past version of yourself surfacing, or some of your, like, some of the parts of yourself that maybe you're the least proud of, or like for example, I have a big mouth. You can probably tell, especially if you watch me for a while. I literally got demonetized in a video because I said the C word too much. I think YouTube is a bunch of see you next Tuesdays for having that problem. But I'm still kind of glad I said it, and like I don't regret it. And I learned that I need to say the C word less if I don't want to be punished by my corporate overlords. So like realistically, it was okay in that situation. And you know what? You can make mistakes. It is okay to make mistakes. Life is about making mistakes. But the thing is that you've already made a ton of mistakes. You've grown and evolved as a person, and you're wise enough not to, or at least to think ahead, or to learn from the mistakes that you still fall into. And I also feel like when it comes to external perception of this situation, there might be other people that might think, oh, well, you're too young for this, or are you sure you're ready for this? You are too young for this video if you're under 18. So if you are, I'm going to need you to skedaddle with peace and love until you're a little bit older. I wish you the best. I just want you to enjoy your young life and not be, well, that's kind of hard, right? Because the media has completely eroded how living used to be, but, well, not completely. It's eroded it a lot. But anyway, if you're under 18, you shouldn't be here. I love you, but you shouldn't be here. Come back when you're 18. Okay, anyway, you are more than prepared for this. I just think that there are other people outside of you that may still see you as an old version of yourself, or may still see you as smaller than you truly are, or younger than you really are. And it's just because, and I feel like it's because like they still see you as like, as a baby, or as not ready. And I think that has less to do with you actually not being ready, and more to do with whoever this is, like their fears around time. And I should also mention, I have no clue if anything that I'm saying is making sense. So this is an entirely experimental reading, and hopefully it is. But I apologize if it isn't. Anyway, okay, so we have an answer of yes. The why is because you're ready, because you can do it, because you're prepared, because you have the wisdom, because I think you even know that you're ready and you're set for this next thing. There is no amount of self-sabotage, I think, that could stop you, but let's see. Could this yes become a no? So Spirit, could this yes change? Why or why not? Yes or no? Could this yes change, please? Okay, so the answer is yes. This yes could become a no, but the only reason it would become a no is if there was something even more beneficial for you. And I feel like if this yes became a no, it's because you're the one saying no. I don't think that this is an external type of rejection. I feel like the only reason you would say no to this situation or this circumstance, or the only reason this would become a no, is if there is something even better for you on the horizon. The fact that we have the Queen of Pentacles here, there definitely seems to be an emphasis around material comfort and your own well-being, like your physical well-being, your mental well-being. And also there's just an energy here of knowing your worth and caring for yourself. When I think of the Queen of Pentacles, I think of it's a very motherly energy. And I would say, whether you have a family or not, whether you identify with archetypes of the mother or not, whether you have Cancer placements or not, I think the only way that this could become a no is if there's something even more balanced and more aligned with you. And it would be something where, like, I'm saying no to this because I could nurture myself better in this way, or I could go down this path and this would be even more beneficial. I definitely think that, like, there's an overall theme in your life around making decisions that are not only balanced, but also sustainable for you, and that support a life that allows you to prioritize your well-being and your health and not be so burnt out. You are ready to take the next steps into your future. And I feel like even if you make a change, or even if you say no to this, it's because there's something better around the corner. If for some reason a no would come out, and it's outside of your control, then I think that you would have knowing at that point that there's something different, or you would be redirected soon after to something that's an even better yes, that's an even better option and opportunity for you. I definitely think that you really don't need to worry. There's a gentleness surrounding you and a lot of spiritual energy around you. And I actually think Lepidolite might be a good stone to get. I've been all but snorting Lepidolite recently because, you know, life be making me anxious. It's probably been making you a bit anxious too. So I would highly recommend Lepidolite in any form. I feel like it's a very calming stone, and you can even get Lepidolite with mica in it, and so it's like reflective, and it's really pretty. And she's already pretty without mica in it, so you know, maybe someone with the name Mica is significant. But anyway, this yes can become a no, but it would either be your choice or it would be something that happens last minute, or like in a circumstance where there's something even better that you would choose instead, or that would become immediately apparent to you, or apparent to you soon after this no happened, and it would be just like even better for you. There's a real unapologetic focus on your well-being and on your health specifically here that I'm seeing. That spirit is wanting you to know that like your decisions now and in the coming future are going to be based around those factors. And the more you make decisions with your own well-being in mind, the more return you will see on those decisions, and the more growth and the more progress, and also the more peace. Because I think that like there will be less thinking about what you need to do and trying to figure things out, and just a more natural being and doing in your everyday life where you don't have to overthink things as much, because everything just unfolds naturally as it's meant to. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this short reading off with some guidance cards for you. So I just wanted to ask Spirit like what you needed to know about this situation moving forward. So to start, we have the third eye. The trigger statement is, I don't know where to start. And the true statement is, I take action now. You will find the clarity and the ability to create now. This is your time to make things happen. So maybe you have some ideas that you need to start saying yes to. Can you see that card? Okay, yes, you can. Good. But also with your third eye being here, I feel like there is a lot of spiritual energy around you. I almost said that, and then I stopped myself because I got distracted by the wonderful world of Lepidolite. And I think that there's a lot of just like, I feel like your spiritual team is really, really focused on you realizing how nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself is one of the most powerful things you can do, not only for your own well-being, but for your purpose and your creative path, whatever you feel your purpose is at this time. And it can be multiple things, and it's always changing, right? Even if your purpose, maybe your purpose is simply just to vibe and like have a good time. I want that to be my purpose. But even then, I feel like Spirit isn't supportive of that and wants your well-being and is doing a lot on their end to ensure that that happens. And I feel like they really don't want you to worry or just feel like that you're not capable of succeeding or not capable of handling what's coming to you in your future. You're going to be just fine. And I feel like also you don't need to figure everything out all at once. You just need it like as our Lord and Savior Jordan Sparks says, you just need to take it one step at a time. No need to rush. It will all be fine. We also have gifted trust. Yes. Okay. Yes. I love when I'm correct, which is a lot. Yeah, you need to trust yourself. You are guided and protected, and you're protected in this situation. And I'm trusting that I'm protected in this situation because I don't know if any of what I've said makes sense at all. And am going to thank you for being compassionate with me if it doesn't. That's part of having faith. It's not knowing how things are going to turn out. But I definitely think that you are more than okay. And I think that if you see a full moon anywhere, even a butt, that could be Spirit saying, hey, don't forget your power. Don't forget how protected you are. And it doesn't have to be a full moon in the sky. It can be a full moon on a picture, a full moon on a card, a full moon someone's flashing at you. You know, you never know. We also have clear your mind, take a walk, bath, or meditate. Clearing your mind is important and moving forward for you right now, which makes a lot of sense with this Knight of Swords in reverse. I feel like the only person doubting you is you. And like this circumstance that is really reminding me of is just how we all kind of view ourselves as like well, maybe not all of us, I don't want to generalize, but I think it's a normal and common thing to feel like an older version of yourself, whereas everyone else sees you differently. Like, I remember when I made the transition from high school to college, like, I viewed myself in very specific ways that were completely inaccurate, and it really shocked me once I started making like friends in college, because I was like, oh, they don't judge me for these certain things. Like, I feel accepted, and like, oh, like, I'm not a bad person for just making a silly joke. Like, oh, people actually like my personality? Like, wow, okay, maybe I wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, you kind of realize, like, a lot of what you judge yourself for, nobody else is judging you for. And the reality is, too, like, you're not the person that you think that you are. You're so much more than that. You just haven't consciously realized it yet. Like, it also just makes me think of, you know, anytime you make a huge change, you still a lot of times feel like your old self, and you feel like you haven't really changed. And it's only when you look back and you see how much growth you've had where you're like, oh, wow, I have actually grown a lot. I have actually changed a lot. And the fact that we have the Hermit card here, it is important that you're able to get in touch with your gut and your intuition, and you can't do that if your mind is not clear. So I definitely think Spirit is really encouraging you, when you cannot get in touch with your intuition, to really do things like exercising, meditating. I love taking a bath. I'm a bath bitch. You know, channel your inner Meredith Marks, take a bath, do whatever you can to feel more calm and centered. One thing that I like to do if your thoughts are like eating you alive, you can do anything. This is just my process. So I visualize all my thoughts as donuts, and I visualize Homer Simpson in my brain eating all the donuts. And so anytime new thoughts surface, I just turn them into donuts and feed them to Homer. And so you could do that. You could have an inner cookie monster that loves cookies. You know, whatever really you wanted, you could do. You could really do anything there. You could turn your thoughts into prime bottles and pretend Kino's drinking them. I don't mean to expose her in this way, but when we were in America together, she discovered she really likes prime. And I always send her pictures of it, and I'm like thinking of you. But you could do anything really. You could think of me and brownies. I love brownies. Or me and Diet Dr. Pepper. You could do anything. You could think of anyone and just turn it into a thing, and someone or something that loves consuming that thing. You could picture your thoughts as dust and turn the thing into a Roomba. I don't know. Do what you want though, and see if it helps, because I find that it helps me. But anyway, we also have prosperity lies ahead, which I fully believe. I mean, you've got these money cards here, and we've got Taurus, which is all about material objects. And I feel like what you really need to know is that you are secure and you can handle this. You are safe. Everything's going to be okay. And finally, we have surrender to complete healing, open to the fully loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. So I definitely feel like whatever you're stepping into, it is a great sign of like, this yes is coming to you because you've healed enough and you deserve it. Well, not that if you didn't heal enough, you wouldn't deserve it, but it's more like you're open to things you wouldn't have been open to in the past. That your lack of openness could have come from wounding. Obviously, it's like you don't have to heal this in order to earn it, but you might not be open to something until you're like healed enough to trust yourself to like receive it or be open to it or even conceive of it, if that makes sense. But realistically, like life really wants to be easier for you and gentler for you, and life wants you to either say yes to that when it comes to you, or to say no if something even better comes along that would just really be healing for you and supportive of the life that you are stepping into. This is a lot about you prioritizing your well-being and exploring the beautiful things that the world has to offer, and realize that these things are not things that you have to earn or prove yourself to receive, but just realize you've always been deserving of them, and that it's natural. The universe should want you to feel good and happy and blessed and shower yourself. I think of the Mr. Rogers quote, which he just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Rogers, where he said, I think evil would like nothing more than for us to hate ourselves. And so I think that that is an important reminder when you feel like you're not good enough or you feel like you're not deserving of the beautiful things coming into your life. You just need to remind yourself that you are deserving of it, and that in fact, the universe smiles when you do. And I use the word God. It's okay if you don't. My idea of God is not like my idea of God is my own, but you know, the word itself I know can be charged for people, but like God smiles when you accept the universe's blessings, when you recognize your worth, when you see the beauty in your creation and how loved you truly are. So pile one, that's where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel, so thank you to everyone who does that. If you'd like to show me in support in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ACE10 for 10% off. You can check out my other readings. You can check out other readings with extendeds, though beware. Vimeo is ruining my fucking life right now. Like, I can't even talk about it. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading made sense and it resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Ruby Aura-coated Quartz and the Santa Muerte Tarot, this is going to be your reading answering your yes or no question with a yes or a no, and why this is a yes or a no. So the why is going to be really important, because if the why to the answer doesn't make sense, then this is likely not your reading. But if it helps, you might want to write your question down, or even write down what you think the answer is and why, and see if it matches up or is close. If the why is plausible and makes sense, but it's not what you thought it was, I guess just trust your gut on that. But while I'm shuffling, if you want to just focus on what your question is and focus on the cards, that's great. I apologize that this group's shuffling is going to be less satisfying. That is because this card stock is really thick. But I would appreciate any compliments on how strong I am, because it takes a really strong lady to bend these damn cards. Catch me at the Arnold convention. Okay. All right. Okay, that was a terrible one, so we gotta do one more. And then we'll start shuffling. And if you didn't check out the intro where I explained things, you should, because otherwise you might be confused. But if there's more than 3 upright, the answer to your question is yes. If there are more than 3 reversed, the answer to your question is no. The cards that are out will be answering why, and then we will also look at if this answer can change. So can it become the opposite answer, yes or no? And if yes, how? And if no, why? But I've done enough rambling, so let's go ahead and start. Group number 2's question, Spirit, is the answer to their question yes or no? Is the answer to group number 2's question yes or no, please? Okay, so we have Strength upright. Is the answer to group number... Okay, we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Is the answer to group number 2's question yes or no? We have the Emperor upright. Is the answer? Okay, we have the Lovers in reverse. And finally, Spirit, is the answer to group number 2's question yes or no? Okay, so the answer to your question is yes. Let's talk about why. So the reason why the answer to this question is yes is because the energies that could create a no are not strong enough, at least right now, to change that course we have a lot of powerful energies here. I mean, we have the Lover in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, the Emperor upright, the Three of Wands upright, the Knight of Cups in reverse, and Strength upright. We have a lot of fire energy here. We've got Aries energy, Leo energy. We also have Gemini energy. And the Three of Wands is Sun and Aries energy. So I feel like this answer is yes, because you have control over this situation and quite literally the strength to stay aligned with it, even when life is not showing you the answer that you want, or life is not happening according to how you thought it would. I feel like this answer is yes, but it does require patience. I mean, a lot of strength is about patience. But I also think that part of the reason why this answer is a yes is because even if you don't want to, you still choose what is going to ultimately serve you. I don't think you're the type of person to make emotionally impulsive decisions or behave in petty ways because you're feeling emotionally vulnerable or all over the place. I can see here that maybe your fears of this, I feel like you've been afraid of a no, or afraid that a no will happen and it'll be out of your control. But I feel like whatever this yes is about, your worries and your emotional distress that you might have over it, those are temporary. I think what you underestimate is the fact that you have a very powerful and strong amount of masculine energy. And that doesn't mean that you're a masculine person. Gendered shit isn't like, I'm talking about yin and yang energy. I'm not talking about like, you're masculine because you wear race car shirts. Like, that's not what I'm fucking talking about. You have the ability, even within the throes of an intense emotional experience, to recognize where your power lies and to stay in control. I also feel like, though, there could be someone outside of you that is like someone you look to as a mentor or a guide. With this Emperor card being here, there could be someone that you lean on and rely on and trust that will and always will pull through. It might take them a little bit of time. It might take them, you know, they might not always be constantly available to you, but they will never do you wrong and they will never do you dirty. They will always do what is best for everyone, you included. And with the Three of Wands upright, it seems like this yes is partially dependent on you just being patient and waiting for things to happen. The Three of Wands is a lot about like things succeeding and like you working on things, but just waiting for the results to come in. So I definitely think that there is a lack of knowingness that might be a little bit stressful because you haven't gotten results yet. It's like things look promising, things look like they're going to work out, but you just haven't gotten the answer yet. I also feel like a big reason why too is because why this answer is a yes, because if there's anyone else involved, they also want this. I am seeing for some of you, you could be asking a question about like a romantic partner or a romantic interest. And if that's the case, the reason why I feel like this is a yes is because you're able to handle and maintain a centeredness that allows you to keep things on the rails, and that also allows you to be aware of when you need to cut your losses or when you need to release something. I do think that a big reason why this answer is yes as well is because you have the patience to see this situation through, and you also have the manifestation abilities and the just like ability to take action in ways that support the vision you're building, and you don't stray from it. I feel like there's a big, emphasis here on whatever you are already doing, whatever you have been doing, don't stop. And don't stop having vision and faith in what you're creating. I feel like you need to have more trust in yourself about just your value and your worth. But I feel like at times you might doubt yourself because you may not receive as much praise or reassurance as you'd like. And I think that makes a lot of sense because I think on the outside, a lot of people look at you as very dignified and kind of assume that you already know these things about yourself. Like, for example, like, let's say, like, let's say that you're really looking for reassurance about your leadership abilities, but everybody thinks you're such a good leader. Everybody thinks that you know that. So nobody takes the time to say like, hey, thanks for showing us this, or hey, like, really love that presentation, I learned a lot. Like, nobody thinks to say these things. Well, also partially because you might be a little bit intimidating. And if there is a romantic interest involved, I feel like part of the reason why you might be still waiting on certain things is because you are intimidating, or the situation is intimidating. But I also feel like another reason why this answer is a yes is because you're not a selfish person, and you're not trying to overpower and dominate the situation. You're surrendering to it and taking action where you can. I definitely think that you might be judging yourself for how your emotional body might be handling this current situation you're in, and the question itself that you're asking. But I do think that overall, you know where your power is, you know where it's not wise to spend your time and energy. And I also think you know deep down in your heart what the truth of this situation is. I think it's just a matter of trusting it and seeing it through. Like, sometimes we know something to be true, but it takes a lot of time for it to actually materialize and manifest. And it takes a lot of trust and a lot of faith as well. You know, we don't always know whether our actions or what we put our faith in is going to pay off. But I feel like for you, you have a level of security and wisdom within yourself, and just a level of like personal aptitude is the word that I'm hearing, to face head on whatever challenges may come, and to know if and when you need to pivot and do something differently, or make a different decision, or invest your time and energy elsewhere. Whether this yes is wanted or not, there is this why of, I think if the answer is yes, it's because you want it to be a yes. It just might be frustrating and waiting for the yes to materialize. But if you've also been like deep down, maybe if you didn't want to hear a yes, and the answer is yes, I feel like part of the reason why is because you know that there's something more fulfilling that you might be denying yourself, or you might not be open to, out of like, I'm hearing like sunken cost fallacy, out of fear of losing more or losing what you've already invested in. But I do feel like for most of you, this is a positive situation. I feel like, we'll look at this in a second, but I feel like the only way that this situation, if this yes is wanted, and you are really wanting like some positive momentum here, the only reason why this situation might change is if you took destructive action from a place of fear or insecurity that severed the progress that you made, if that makes sense. So we're gonna actually see if this yes could become a no, could change into a no. If the card is upright, then the answer is yes. The answer can change. If the card is reversed, then no. The only answer here is yes. I know that's kind of confusing, and I apologize. I'll try to be clear, but I also hope this makes sense, because I'm kind of going in blind, and I appreciate your grace here. But I definitely think that things are working out no matter what, and I think that this yes is a positive yes ultimately, even if it's like a yes and you might have to be patient, yes, and it might take some time for this to materialize. But I really feel like it's like, I think what you're really afraid of is sabotaging what you've been creating, sabotaging what you've been investing in. And the reality is like any energy of self-sabotage within you is not stronger than the aspects of you that know you can succeed, that know that this situation or what you're investing in is worth it, is fruitful. And it seems like there are systems or people already that are here to help and support you through this process. So ultimately, I do feel like this is a good positive yes, but even if the yes isn't something that you want to hear, I feel like that yes is for your own benefit ultimately. But anyway, let's just go ahead and see if this yes can change. So Spirit, for pile 2's question, could this yes become a no? Could this answer change? If yes, how? If no, why? Okay. So we have a no. The only answer here is yes. So, and interesting, on the back of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups upright. So I definitely think that this answer is not changing. I feel like I'm hearing the words locked in. You're very much locked into this situation, and if there are other people that have that have a role in this, I believe they're locked in as well. They might have a different path or a different journey or different expectations, but ultimately, no, the answer here cannot change. The only answer here is yes. And that's because no amount of pessimism, setbacks, or repressed emotions could stop this from happening, could stop this from materializing. And it's just answering everything I already saw here, which is essentially like no amount of like destructive emotion or impulsive decision making could really get in the way of this, because there's stronger forces at play here, whether within you or outside of you, that are creating a protective barrier from any destructive influence. But I do think that things could take longer to materialize if there are a lot of if there is a lot of frustration, or if there's a lot of uncertainty, or if or it might just feel like it's taking longer because you might be uncertain or anxious or nervous. But really, there's no need to worry. Everything is going to be fine. And I just also have to say, this is my absolute favorite Emperor card. I just love it. Anyway, so hopefully that makes sense. We're just going to go ahead now and finish off by giving you some final guidance on this situation. So to start, we have nurturing. The trigger statement is, it's all in my head, and the true statement is, I create with pleasure. Take time to rest, and in that time, be open to creative pursuits. Surround yourself with things that please your senses, and be gentle with yourself. So I do think that one thing that Spirit is advising you is, if there is a romantic component to this in any way, when you are feeling romantically deprived, or you know, the desire to have romantic connection, it seems to be evading you or out of your hands, you're really being encouraged to nurture yourself through your own creativity and in gentle ways, and rest. And you might not give yourself a lot of time to do that, because like I said, you have a lot of masculine energy, and I feel like masculine energy, when it's in its shadow, it doesn't take into account how the yin aspects, the feminine aspects of being, need to be valued and nurtured. So an example of this in a broader context would be, you know, how if you also exist in a capitalist system, you know, we don't really have much time off anymore. We don't really have humans used to live based on the cycles of nature, but we're so removed from nature at this point. It's like everything is kind of the same. There is no time for harvest. There is no time for rest. We're expected to harvest all the time, and it's growth at all costs, even if it's degrading to the body, degrading to the spirit, degrading to every aspect of you, because it's about progress, it's about growth at all costs, right? That's just one example. But in a personal example, you know, of masculine energy being in its shadow, that'd be how you treat your body. You know, if you're unhappy with how your body looks, and as a result you punish it and deprive it of what it needs, because you're unhappy with it, that would be an example of your masculine energy in its shadow. If your brain gets frustrated that your body needs rest, or that it needs water, or that it needs, you know, just time to slow down, and you're frustrated and you're angry at that, and you want to punish yourself for that, that is masculine energy in its shadow, because your body needs rest, and your body can support your goals when it's rested and it's got enough water and shit like that. Both components are important. And I think that for you, you might almost look for respite and refuge in others, or in those that make you feel nurtured, because you haven't figured out how to give yourself permission to just have that, or cultivate a sense of nurturing within yourself. Obviously other people can help that a lot more, but I do think you need to give yourself more permission, and also just validate when you're struggling, or when you just need time. If you start crying randomly, don't beat yourself up for that. You're just releasing pent-up emotion and energy. That's all it is. I definitely think you need to be a little bit more gentle with yourself, and a little bit less domineering of yourself, and holding yourself to such high expectations, because I think that you could also have this misguided idea that your performance or how much action you're taking is dictating how this situation turns out. And I don't think it's dependent on that at all. I think if anything, it's just creating unnecessary stress. But we also have trust God, unexpected blessing, do your part. And I feel like you're already doing your part. So the only other part there is to trust what you believe in, to have faith in a greater power, or to have faith in the universe or yourself or in others. Like whatever inspires you, whatever makes you feel connected, whatever makes you feel supported, trust in that force, and trust in the ability for that force to help things work out. But we also have you're glowing from the inside out. Choose to feel good about yourself. You will only attract positive people and circumstances by doing so. So I definitely think anything that's stopping you from glowing, that's stopping you, and I think it's interesting it's coming out underneath the sun too, because I think it's like no matter what, you're already attracting what you want here. Like this is already happening. I think there's just a matter of like when, and the wins I think are different for everyone. But also I feel like you mess with your ability to attract what you want when you deprive and deplete yourself and abusue yourself. So that's important to pay attention to, because there are a lot of things that we do to ourselves that can be quite abusive. You know, berating ourselves, you know, bullying ourselves, punishing ourselves. We don't need to do that, and you don't need to do that. And that like, if anything, I think you would benefit from just being a little bit more gentle and allowing yourself time to slow down and giving yourself permission to be human. A lot of the distorted masculine ideals that are just very pervasive in society, like productivity over all costs, over everything, and you know, the idea that if you rest, or if you're slow, if you want to slow down, like you're lazy or there's something wrong with you. No. I mean, there is something wrong with you from the perspective of what this system designed to corrupt the spirit and suppress natural human desires. You don't go along with it. What? It's almost like you're not the crazy one. It's almost like there's a crazy circumstance outside of you. But anyway, let's keep going. We have luck is on your side, which I love. And I feel like Spirit is really saying too, like, everything is going to work out here. Like, you've done everything that you needed to be in alignment with what you're asking about. It's just a matter of having faith and not letting your internal distress make it so that everything is just more overwhelming, or it makes it seem like something isn't happening, or you're failing or doing something wrong. Your internal distress is not a personal failure or a moral failure. It's just part of being human. Like, it's just part of being human. Okay. And we also have surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. So I definitely think that, like, maybe one thing that you're struggling with is maybe you always want reassurance that this is going to happen and that it is going to work out. I don't think that you need that. I also think that maybe someone you're asking about, like if this is about a person, they could be avoiding you because they don't want to tell you that you're right. Like, they might, like, if you are one to, like me, gloat when they're correct, you might want to maybe consider being a little bit gentler around that, because maybe someone feels really ashamed. But also I think that what if it was okay to just not know? How might that set you free? And how might that let you be lighter and less hard on yourself? Everything's going to be okay here, and I really don't think you have anything to worry about. I just think that maybe you could be a little bit gentler with yourself. And whatever you're yearning for or seeking outside of you that seems to be unavailable outside of you, at least at this time, look at how you can supplement that on your own, or look for ways to support yourself, because it's not going to be forever that those things aren't available to you. But it might be something that just really helps you get out of a destructive energy, or an energy that doesn't feel good, or that feels disempowering, and just not let you spiral into a place where you feel like you can't trust yourself. Because you can trust yourself. You're more than capable. This answer is an emphatic yes. It cannot change. There is no answer other than yes. And yes. And just trust and everything will work out. I hope that this reading made any sense. I don't know if it did, but I am also just trusting God here and hoping that if it doesn't, you will be gentle and kind with me. So that is where I'm leaving this reading, pile 2. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel, so thank you to everyone who does that. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can also check out my merch, my social media, my candles. You can check out other videos. You can share me. You can like the vid, comment, subscribe, all that. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading resonated and brought you clarity. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, whenever it is that you're watching this video. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Aquamarine Tower and the Omni Tarot, this is going to be your reading on the answer to your question. Is it yes or is it no? So I would highly recommend checking out the intro if you are confused by this reading. But to reiterate, more than 3 upright, the answer to your question is yes. More than 3 reversed, the answer to your question is no. And then whatever is on those cards will be answering why. If the why to this question and the why to this answer does not make sense, then I would pick a different group. That would be a sign that you picked the wrong one. And then we're also going to see if this answer can change. If it can, how, and if it can't, why. Then we'll get some guidance. So pretty straightforward. If you just want to go ahead and focus on your question while I'm shuffling the cards, just ask or pray that you get the messages most necessary and the answers that you need. I'm really going into the unknown with this one, so I don't know if anything I will say makes sense, but hopefully it does. Okay, let's get into it. So group number 3, Spirit, what is the answer to their question? Is it yes or no, and why? Okay, so we have the Hierophant in reverse. The answer, okay, we have the Magician in reverse. What is the answer to group number 3's question, please? We have the 4 of Cups upright. What is the answer to group number 3's question, please? We have the 5 of Pentacles upright. And finally, Spirit, I can feel hearts racing. Like my heart just started racing. It's okay. Let's take a breath. I'm sending you a hug through the ether. It's going to be okay. Pinky promise. It's going to be okay. Yes or no, Spirit? What is the answer to group number 3's question, please? What is the answer to group number 3's question? So the answer is a no, and I think that this is actually a very necessary no, because if the answer was yes, you would not be successful. I feel like if you were wanting a yes to this answer, you were wanting a yes out of desperation or out of fear. What I'm seeing, the reason why this answer is a no is because you're not thinking clearly or not seeing the situation clearly. And because a yes to this answer would lead you into spaces that would leave you even more dissatisfied, lost, and confused, and just honestly like feeling horrible than you already are. First of all, if you are feeling that bad, I'm so sorry, and I just want to send you a hug and let you know that it's going to be okay. And just also just like let you know too that it's okay to feel that way. Like I want to say especially right now, but the world is full of horrors, and I mean, I guess especially right now, it's a cliche. I guess I was trying to avoid cliches, but it's like it's a cliche because the world just is always just doing horrific stuff, right? So the reason why I feel like this is a no is because whatever you're asking about is the wrong soil for you and is not conducive to your growth. I feel like the reason why you're even considering this in the first place is because you're wondering if you would be more secure Also, you could be going through some sort of like mental health troubles, mental health issues, or you could just be like deeply unsatisfied and afraid. And so you may be considering a decision that you know ultimately wouldn't make you happy, but maybe it would make you feel more secure, or maybe it would just be something different, or it would be something to say like, at least I'm not in this limbo of not knowing. But what I'm seeing here is the reason why this answer is a no is because there's an option you're not considering, or a solution you're not considering, and whether that solution is apparent to you, could be apparent to you now, or whether that solution is coming to you in the future, it is coming. And one thing that I can see here is that it seems like whatever you're asking about, you're idealizing it in a way that that also doesn't consider who you are as a person and what is supportive. And I'm thinking of an example from my personal life. The first college that I went to because it was a good school, and because my parents seemed to like it, which, you know, I love their approval, as one does. And I liked, there were a lot of things I liked about it. But the one thing that made me nervous was the social aspects. It was a school really heavy on Greek life, so much so that even if you weren't in Greek life, you had a label. And there was a lot of partying, which, like, I'm not against partying, but I'm not a huge partier. So essentially, I just realized, like, I kind of knew going in to that school that the social situation was going to be a lot different than what I was used to growing up. And I thought that it would be fine because, like, you know, it's a school. Like, it might be harder to find, like, my people, but I'm sure I'll still find it. And what I realized after I got there was, like, no, the greater, like, social, like, normal social culture actually is affecting me in negative ways, and I feel really isolated, and this sucks a lot more than I thought I would. I transferred after a year, and I did not regret that decision whatsoever. It was just not for me. And I think that the reason why this example came up for me and why I'm sharing it with you is because I think that you're kind of looking at whatever this is in the same way, where you may be aware that there is a factor that is not ideal or something that is not for you in this situation, but you're trying to justify or minimize how much of a problem that is, and thinking like, well, this will just be the solution, because the idea, I think it's also the fact that just having a solution and having an answer would bring you comfort because you're finally done with not knowing. And I think the thing is that Spirit doesn't want you to give up because you're tired of not knowing. Because I think there's a part of you deep down that knows that if you made this decision, if you said yes to this thing, you would be in a suppressive environment or oppressive environment. What's the difference between that? I don't know. Someone who's smarter than me, let me know. Or someone with Google. I don't have it in front of me. And there wouldn't, and it also seems like in this environment, I feel like it's restrictive and traditional in ways that don't serve you. I also feel like it would suppress your ability to create, and would also maybe cause like negative beliefs about what you're able to do, which I think especially when you're in rigid systems, that can happen. And academia is a great example of that. Like academia, like not knocking academia, like there's so many wonderful things about academia and universities, but there can be very intense ideas that if you deviate from, especially, you know, with people that like are in your cohort or in your group, and if you say something that's out of left field or like a bit different, you know, you could be ostracized. Or and like what I'm saying, for example, is, you know, is like let's say you're a spiritual person and you go into an environment that's like highly religious, or, you know, or like academia where a lot of people aren't religious whatsoever, which is okay. But, you know, when people have these set ideas, it's really easy to feel trapped or isolated, or feel like you have to hide a part of yourself, or even feel ashamed of yourself because the environment that you're in is not supportive, or the general consensus around you is like you're dumb for what you believe in, or like what you believe in is stupid or not real. It's like actually one of my biggest beefs is the fact that like so many people look at spiritual people as like, or just anyone that has a belief system as stupid for believing things, which I'm just like, that belief itself is really stupid, and I cannot believe the irony. But like, also at the same time I get it, because like when I didn't believe anything, I thought that too. But essentially I feel like you would just end up being in an environment where you couldn't positively create, and where the structure itself of your environment would be pretty oppressive. And I feel like it would also just drain any ability you have left to innovate, create, incentivize, and forge a new path for yourself, or just create a life, or maybe not necessarily create, but edit your life in ways that are just more supportive into the person that you're becoming. Because I feel like with this 3 of Wands in reverse, it's like, I feel like if you chose this, or if this were a yes, whatever you'd be stepping into would kill your dreams of the future. I feel like it would really make you feel like you're not capable of having the future that you want. And that, like, the example of academia is coming back, like, where, you know, just sometimes there's really rigid systems and deeply held beliefs about what's possible and what isn't, about what can happen and what can't, like, and it's these systems that are greater than any one individual, you know? Like, I think that a lot of people in every field go into it bright-eyed and ready to make a difference, and then just the realities of how bureaucracy and human systems work, and, you know, all that jazz, I think the realities of that can be quite crushing. And the adherence to the status quo with people already in there is usually quite strong, and it can be hard to make change. It's not impossible, but it just seems like there are times where an individual can positively influence an environment, and there are situations where an environment can deplete an individual. And I think that this is an example of an environment where it would deplete you more than it would serve you. And it would be something where you might start to really believe that the parts of yourself that are truest to you are wrong or shameful or embarrassing, and that you should hide them. And I also believe that you would enter this situation, and at first there would be relief of like having an answer and of having knowing, but then you would have the crushing regret of, oh shit, now I'm here, and this sucks, and I don't like this, and I've made this choice, and now I feel trapped. And now I feel like I don't have a future to look forward to. This is my future, and now I feel stuck, and like, this sucks. So I definitely think that if what you're asking about is very traditional, and you know that you're not a very traditional person, or that you don't thrive in environments like this, you really need to ask yourself, why do I think I need this? Is it because I don't believe in myself, or is it because I'm afraid? Because I think the reality is that you're underestimating your power to create something different, or manifest something different, or trust yourself to find a better solution. And I feel like sometimes we have to be in a state of unknowing, and like, that's stressful and challenging. I completely understand it. And just accept that, you know, we may not be in control of when we do know. I think what Spirit wants is a solution and an outcome where you have freedom to create, and freedom to dream, and freedom to be yourself in the process. And there might be a solution that's more, not might be, there are solutions that are more beneficial that either you're not seeing or unaware of yet. Like, Spirit is definitely bringing you something far more fulfilling, or you're going to stumble upon something far more fulfilling, or become aware of something far more fulfilling than what you're currently asking about. And I think it's hard to know in that and trust in that if we don't know what that is, and don't even know of its existence, and don't even know if it'll be real. So that's the hard part, is having that trust and having that faith. But I think that also part of the reason why you might be drawn to this circumstance in the first place is because of low self-esteem. You might feel like you're not good enough for anything else, or at least, you know, if you're here, you know that you'll be accepted into something, or you know that you won't be rejected, I guess is a better way I could put it. And like, that's not a good enough reason. Like, that's that is a low self-esteem reason. And, you know, I think part of, you know, healing your self-esteem is recognizing that you're capable of challenges, and capable of handling the unknown more than you think you are. And I think that also, if you've grown up in environments where people didn't believe in you, or people didn't see your skills and your gifts, It might take more energy and more time for you to learn to trust yourself, or for you to see yourself accurately enough to start recognizing where you would be fulfilled, or where your talents and your gifts would be accepted. I just definitely think the reason why this is a no is because it wouldn't be good for you. It would be constrictive, it would be disempowering, it would disconnect you from your own spiritual essence, cause you to have less faith in yourself than you already do, probably make your self-esteem lower, make the future seem quite bleak and hopeless. And it also seems like there could be financial hits that you take as a result. Like maybe, for example, you choose this thing because it's safe, and then it turns out that, you know, the market doesn't need that anymore. Like, you know, think about how many people are doing have done software engineering and stuff, and now people and you know, everybody was saying do that 10 years ago, and now there's a ton of software engineers that don't have a job because of how much that space is changing, you know? It's really what it comes down to is the reason why this is a no is because it's not for you, and it wouldn't be good for you. And it's like eating a handful of bees out of fear that you'll never eat anything. You'll get other food, I promise. You don't need to eat a handful of bees. Like, please don't eat a handful of bees. Oh my God. I don't know why that's the example, but we can go ahead and see if this answer can change. So if the answer can change, if it's upright, that means yes, the answer can change, and it can become a yes, and we'll see how. And if the card is reversed, then the answer is no. The answer cannot change. So your answer is only a no, and we'll look at why. I know that's kind of confusing, so I apologize for any confusion there. But if you just want to go ahead and keep focusing, I feel like I hope that a lot of you came to this reading hoping for a no, or hoping for just permission to not have to say yes to this. And so I'm really glad to be able to say you can say no to this. It'll be okay. Don't say yes to this out of fear. You don't need to eat a handful of bees. Okay. Spirit, can this, no, I didn't even ask the question yet, and that's 50 cards. You're going to need to relax. I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that to the cards. Peace and love. Okay. Pile 3, Spirit. Can this answer, can this no change? Is this a hard, permanent no? Or can this no become a yes? If so, how? If not, why? Okay. So we have a Lovers here. This could become a yes, but the only way it would become a yes is because you would love the option to choose it. You know, the Lovers, when it comes down to it, one of the biggest interpretations of the Lovers is a choice and making decisions. And I definitely think that is coming through here. And so I think personally, this answer will remain a no. The only way it would become a yes is if you would love this situation, and it would be good for you, and it would be supportive, and it would be nurturing for the person that you're becoming. And I think it's actually I wonder if even if you chose yes for this, that someone or something would come through and make it a no, because I feel like the universe is protecting you in this way. I feel like the only reason that it could turn into a yes is because you could choose that. But how you would choose that would come from a place of love, and from a place of I know that this is what's best for me. You know, even if it was a tough love kind of thing, but it doesn't seem like this is best for you. I feel like the only way you would say yes to it is if you thought it was what was best for you, and you thought that it's what you needed, or you thought that you just have to make a decision, you can't wait around anymore. And I think even if you did choose yes, I feel like these things would become apparent, and you would have to make a different decision anyway and make changes in the future anyway. So, you know, you really can't mess up here, but I feel like the universe is really saying hey, no, don't. But if you do, it'll be okay. You will experience the reasons why a no would have made your life easier, but Life is not about, you know, getting it perfect or getting it right. It's about learning and growing. We are all just decor in a white woman's kitchen, living, laughing, and loving, right? We're all learning, an extra L. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So we're gonna go ahead now and finish off this reading with some guidance for the situation. I hope this made sense. I have no clue if anything that I'm saying is even remotely okay. So we have the theme of transmutation. The trigger statement is I don't know who I am, and the true statement is I am. There is no efforting required for this shift. Be present and allow every aspect of your being to transform. So yeah, I feel like there's a part of you that almost feels like this decision might help you figure yourself out, or because you don't know, you should just play it safe. I feel like you don't need to know yourself or have everything figured out in order to move forward. You just need to recognize that you already have what you need at your disposal. And I think you know enough about yourself to know where you wouldn't be happy and where you wouldn't be, you know, in the right soil for you. I feel like there's a lot of spiritual energy surrounding this, and surrounding you, surrounding the situation. And I feel like it's all trying to show you where you might be making a decision out of fear, or out of, you know, not feeling good enough, or out of like, well, I just need to do something because I can't take not knowing anymore. And I feel like the spirit is really saying, you already do know. You just haven't consciously processed it yet. You just haven't seen it. Like, and I feel like part of you is this great enigma where maybe you're not supposed to know everything about yourself. But I think you, at the very least, you do know enough to know what you don't want. And I think that there are aspects of this situation where you already know you don't want that. And I think you're justifying why it might be okay because you do want X, Y, Z out of this situation. And it's probably things like certainty, security, structure, stability. But I don't even think you're the type of person that thrives in stability like that. Like, it's stability that's almost restrictive. And you seem like the type of person who needs a little bit of whimsy and magic in their life and a little bit of chaos. There are some people that don't need. You might be feeling like you need more security and more certainty because other people are asking for those answers from you. Other people want you to be more certain. Other people want you to have them. They don't need your answers. Like, you don't owe them anything. But you do owe it to yourself to make decisions from a clear mind where you are really honest with yourself. Hey, do I really want to go down this? Am I being really honest with myself about this? Do I really want to do this? Or am I just choosing this because I'm afraid and I want relief from not knowing? I think that is something you should ask yourself. We also have rebirth, growth, transformation, healing, feel your way through. So I definitely think that you are in a healing process right now, and part of your healing is saying no to what you know is not good for you or not conducive for you. Like, if you know being in a certain environment, like I'm feeling like you could even be in an environment that would make you sick. Like just being in such a negative place could make you sick. Being in such a tense, stressful place could make you sick. Like, I definitely think spirit is trying to help you avoid any pitfalls where it would make figuring yourself out and figuring out the unknown even more challenging and make it even more difficult, because now not only do you not know, but you're having to deal with the consequences of this choice and like what responsibilities and requirements it asks of you. And I definitely think that like you're in a process right now where you're not meant to know everything. Like, I almost see this Five of Pentacles as like a cloak, like, or like a chrysalis, where like you're in this process of transformation, but you're not done yet. And part of the frustrating thing is like, yeah, like the mind wants to know, the mind wants to understand. But here's the interesting thing, you know, when it comes to the chakra system, each chakra is associated with like an I statement. So like, I believe the root is like I am. The sacral is I feel. The solar plexus I think is I will. I think the heart is I feel. I think the throat is I speak. I think the third eye is I see, and the crown is I know. I could be wrong, but I think the crown is I know, and like the crown, you have the crown chakra here. And so I think that like there is a lot of knowingness coming to you. And I do think that maybe if you said yes to the situation, some of that knowingness could come to you, but it would come to you in less than desirable ways, where it's like, oh, I have to just have this shitty experience, and now I know I don't like this. And now I have to figure out how to get out of this. So I feel like Spirit is really saying, just don't choose this, because there's much better for you, and you don't need to have all the answers right now. We also have be proud. You should be so incredibly proud of yourself and what you have achieved. Reward yourself. And you might be like, what do you mean? Be proud of yourself for not choosing something that you know would make you miserable or that doesn't excite you or fulfill you. I think that's something. But also, you've come a long way. And I think you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself and really beating yourself up in ways that you shouldn't. I feel like Spirit really wants you to just acknowledge how far you've come. And also know that not giving into fear and not giving into like a lack mentality is another thing to be really proud of. And to trust that ultimately you know what the right decisions are for you to make. It's just sometimes we have to trust ourselves, and like that's the hard thing, and trust the universe. Like when my financial advisor asked me how I think I'm gonna do in the upcoming year, I'm like, dude, I don't know. I could be Flop Town or Thrive City or somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't project shit. I am an in the moment type of girly. I can't tell you what I am going to do tomorrow. I can't tell you what I'm going to do a month from now. I can't give you shit. There are no projections. There is nothing. All I have to give you are the assurance that vibes will be vibing and I'll be flowing with them. Like that, and that's the hard thing, is that when you are a creative person, which it seems like you are, you don't know how things are going to unfold. But that's the cool thing about creativity, is that it's endless and you can always create something new. And you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. We also have be bold and make the first move. So I definitely think that if there are any areas that do excite you more, or that you do know that you could head in, maybe you try those. Or if you are hoping that like this situation will say no for you, maybe say no yourself and see how liberating that might be. Stand up and take action where you know you can. And if you have the opportunity to say no to this yourself, say no. I think it'll feel good. I think it'll be very empowering for you, actually. And finally, we have surrender to silence. After I say like, say it. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. So one reason why you might be just having no clue what's going on within you is because maybe you spend every waking moment listening to something or someone. You know, maybe you've got podcasts on. I know a lot of people listen to me to sleep, which is the sweetest thing ever. Thank you. Oh my God. I will never be offended by that. I will always find that very sweet. It could not be me, but I'm like, I can't even believe that that's a thing. I remember where I was the first time I heard my voice in elementary school, and it was, in many ways, one of those experiences, like, was not fun. But I'm glad that you guys enjoy it. But with that being said, I just definitely think that there's a lot within you that's screaming at you that you may not be listening to because it's overwhelming and you don't have the answers to what's screaming at you. But I don't think you need to give what's screaming at you answers. I think you just need to listen to what it's trying to tell you, because I think that is the key to figuring out what you don't know yet and what you need to know more of, and lead you in the direction that is more fulfilling and supportive of the person you're becoming. You deserve more than you give yourself credit for. And I feel like the universe is saying more than anything, don't make yourself small. Don't hide yourself. Don't stick yourself in spaces that you know won't help you grow, because you're just going to be even more miserable and confused, and you're just going to have less time and energy to figure out what is actually supportive for you. I hope that makes sense. So pile 3, I hope that reading made sense. I don't know if it does. I have no clue what I'm saying. And that's how I like it. So thank you so much for watching this reading. Thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. I don't expect you to watch them. I'm not a monster. But doing that is one of the best ways to support me and show appreciation for my channel. But if you'd like to do that in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my candles, be sure to use code ASO10 for 10% off. You can check out my social media, you can check out my other videos, and that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading helped and gave you the answers you were looking for. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose this yellow fluorite tower, I can't get over how beautiful she is, and the weird cat tarot, which is also very beautiful. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. I already said that, and you know what you chose. If you need a full breakdown of the reading, there is one in the intro, but while I shuffle, if you just want to focus on your question and just ask that you get your question answered accurately and thoroughly, that will be helpful. We are going to look at why this answer is a yes or no. So if the why does not make sense, I would choose a different group because it's probably not the answer to your question. But if it helps, you might want to write down your question beforehand and maybe even what you think the answer is. But I guess if you have no clue, that's probably not helpful, is it? Just whether you think it would be helpful or not. You can trust yourself. Yeah, and so we're just going to go ahead and start by looking at whether this answer is a yes or no, and based on the cards that come out, why. And don't be disheartened by the answer if it's not what you wanted, because we are going to be looking at whether this answer can change. Then if it can't change and you're upset, then you can feel however you want. But, you know, you also can create your reality, and you can also just say, like, don't give a pair of talking hands on the internet more power over your life than you give it, right? Okay. But this is all here to help you. So if it's not helpful, don't watch it, because I want you to feel good and more confident and clear. I don't want you to feel more confused and uncertain and afraid. That's not the point of what I'm doing. And if you ever feel that way, then you shouldn't take a message. Anyway, pile number 4, Spirit. What is the answer to pile number 4's question? Is it a yes? Is it a no? And why? Okay, we have the 5 of Cups upright. What is the answer to pile number 4's question? Is it a yes? Is it a no? We have the 3 of Pentacles upright. What is the answer to pile number 4's question, Spirit? We have the Queen of Wands upright. So I can say already it's a yes. Answer to pile number 3's question. Okay, it's a resounding yes. I wonder why you're even asking this question. I think you need to believe in yourself a little bit more. I feel like literally every card has been upright. This answer is a resounding yes. And the reason why it's a yes is because you've already been working on it. You have a team of people that are supporting you, and maybe even a spiritual, well, not maybe, you do have a spiritual team that is supporting you. You made this situation happen. You're the reason why you're like even able to be in a position to ask this question in the first place. And let's be real, you got 2, well, literal or metaphorical, big ass balls that have gotten you to where you are now, and you can do anything you set your mind to. You're a brave person. And that doesn't mean you don't feel fear, because I do think you feel fear about whatever it is you're asking about. I think that your biggest fear is being disappointed. Your biggest fear is losing, or losing something as a result of this. And I think if there is any loss involved with this decision, what you gain, you will realize you never needed in the first place. It's making me think of the phrase, you know, anything you can take from me was never worth having. And side note, has anybody read the new Hunger Games book? It is really, really good. I devoured it in a night, and it was very enjoyable. And I would love to know your thoughts, but also maybe be careful because we don't want to spoil anyone else because it is still very new. And I'm just a little book slut. I read fast and hard and I can't stop. My God, I really need to fucking chill. Actually, no, I don't. Because you know what? The reason why I have no chill is because you don't either. It's very clear here. You don't have chill, and that's a great thing. You fight for what you believe in, and I think you make no's a yes. Like, I really don't think that you need to worry about anything in this situation. The reason why this situation is a yes is because you set it up, you made it happen, you did everything to get it under control, and if there's any action you need to take in order to ensure that this is a yes, you will do it. Even if there is, even if it takes courage, even if there is resistance, you've got people that are willing to help you, and you've got people that see you as a leader, that believe in you, and that want you to lead them. I feel like you are attracting something very special and very beautiful into your life, and that's what you're asking about. But this could also be you asking about, like, am I ready for this leadership position? Am I ready to, you're ready, but also, like, you're capable and you're, like, overqualified for what you're asking about. Stop being afraid of what you might lose or what might happen as a result, because, like, the answer is a yes. And if this is yes is not a yes that you have to make, but a yes that's outside of your control, know that the answer is yes because it's what you're meant to receive. And if, like, let's say, for example, there's a committee or something that's involved in this decision. They've seen your talent. They've seen your skill. They've seen what you're capable of. There is no questioning or wondering of, like there is no uncertainty about what you're able to do and achieve. I also think you underestimate how well you connect with people. People really like you. You're a likable person. The only people that don't like you are people that wish they were as charismatic as you. People that are peanut butter and jealous. And I think you're getting better at not letting that, you know, affect you. But I think like any good leader, you doubt yourself and wonder if you're truly qualified. And those are the types of people we want leading out in the world, right? But I also just think that, like, there's a part of you that's afraid of failing, or like, what if I'm disappointed, or what if this is disappointing, or what if I don't rise to the occasion? And it's like, you will. You always have. You're fine. And anything where you need to take more action or course correct, you will, and it's fine. If your question involves traveling, yeah, I think that, like, I think your travels are going to go fine. You might have, one thing I will say, if your question involves travel, if you are, like, taking a train or going to an airport, I would highly recommend getting there a little bit earlier than you typically would. One thing that I'm seeing is that there might be, like, extra long lines, or there might be unforeseen technical difficulties that make it, just make the process longer for you to, like, get to your gate. For example, like, you know, maybe there are some computer systems down, or maybe there's, like, a large volume of people and there's a lot of new hires. Like, there could just be something happening where you really have to, like, fight to get to where you need to go. And that process will be less stressful if you're prepared and if you're there early. I also think, though, that if what you're asking about does require you to travel, you might be afraid that, like, you'll get lost, or that you won't be able to connect with people in the place that you're traveling to. And while they might be different, I think, honestly, like, there are some aspects of people that are just the same everywhere. And I think that if you have a good and kind heart and you are just yourself, most people, even if, like, your behavior is different from the cultural norm, like, most people will find you endearing and, like, want to connect with you and want to understand you. They might find you a little bit weird or a bit different. Like, I know that I would probably put off every individual in the country of Russia because I'm a Midwestern girl that can't stop fucking smiling. I smile at everything. I don't know. I, like, you know, but I feel like, you know, you don't gotta worry about that. You don't gotta worry about that. That is something I think about, though, where I'm like, oh, what if I ever go to a country like that where smiling is seen as, like, insincere and, like, weird? I'm like, I don't want to put people off, but also like, I can't stop myself. Like, I'm just a goober with a grin. Like, sorry, politeness has been bred into me. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that you're more than prepared, or you will be. The answer here is yes. If you need any help, trust who comes to mind. You've got teamwork to help you. If your question has to do with career, I think yes, you're ready. Don't make yourself small. Don't like hype yourself up. Be honest about your accomplishments, and also don't hold back from this situation out of fear of failure, or rejection, or loss, because like you're gonna do it. And I feel like after you do, like after this yes happens, you're gonna be like, why was I doubting myself so much? Why was I so afraid? Like, I'm so capable. Like for example, if you're asking about like a job or something, you're the most capable candidate. You're the most like, you're who they want. And no amount of resistance can stop you. Like, you are determined. I pity anyone who is foolish enough to challenge you or get in your way, because they're just going to be steamrolled by your passion, determination, and perseverance. And I fucking love to see that. That is some bad bitch behavior, bad bitch being gender neutral, and I absolutely love to see it. Now, let's go ahead and see if this yes could turn into a no. If there's any way it could turn into a no. So if this card comes out upright, that will mean yes, this answer could turn into a no. I know that's confusing. And if this answer could become a no, how? If the card is reversed, that means no. The only answer to this question is yes. I know it's confusing, I'm sorry. And we'll look at why. So yeah, fun. Hopefully you're still on the same page as me. I apologize to any non-native English speakers that are like, hey, so I was hanging on by a thread before. I just hope it makes enough sense. But honestly, if you're smart enough to watch and well-learned enough, educated enough to watch a tarot reading in a second language, that's an accomplishment in of itself, and you should be really proud. And also, I'm tired of people apologizing for their English in the comment sections, because you guys always have better English than I do, and I'm just like, stop it. You're great. Like, the grammar and the syntax is immaculate. You're better than me. Stop it. Anyway, okay. Spirit, could this answer to pile 4's question change? If yes, why? If no, how? Okay. The only reason this answer could change, so this answer could become a no, but the only reason it would change would be if you were truly needed elsewhere. If you were needed, because it seems like whatever you're asking about, it does serve the collective in some way. Like, you know, maybe for example, well, I'm thinking of another recommendation from your local book slut, Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams. That is an excellent example. It's an excellent book, and Meta doesn't want you to read it. Mark Zuckerberg does not want you to read the book Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams. And I think it would be terrible if you picked up a copy or listened to a copy or read a copy of Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams, because Mark Zuckerberg really doesn't want you to do that. He would really hate that. And we should all do our part and not get the book Careless People by Sarah Wynne Williams, so that Mark Zuckerberg can sleep at night. Anyway, that book is coming to mind because, like, that is an excellent example. Like, her job literally dealt with collectives. And it seems like whatever you're asking about, like, you would have, like, an influential part in the collective in some way. Whatever you're asking about, but you're ready for that. Like, and the fact that this is here, the only reason you would say no to this situation is because you could serve more people, and the situation would be even more aligned. Also, if as this answer being a yes, like, let's say you say yes to this and then you're in this situation, and then for some reason you're unable to be in the position you thought you would be, or like your gifts or your skills are not being used the way you thought they would, then you're gonna pivot and that no is just going to turn into an even better situation for you. I would also say the only way you would say no to this is, number one, if you're traveling to a place that is like contentious, or like if you're traveling to a place where there's a lot of unrest and disruption, and the safety of the area at that time is like uncertain, you might say no then. Like if there's awareness of, hey, you shouldn't be traveling to this area right now, it's not safe, then maybe that would be a no. Like that would be a no that you choose. Or if there's something like, let's say your choice has to do with a cause you're really passionate about, or something comes out about this that goes against your values or your interests, then I think you would say no. I don't necessarily see that happening, but I think that if there were enough opinions to dissuade you, then maybe you could say no. But I feel like you wouldn't be at, like, there's no possible way for that many opinions to get to you in the first place. And even then, I don't know if those opinions would be coming from a place that has your best interests at heart. I think that one way that this could become a no is if you feel like you're not strong enough to face the adversity required to say yes to this circumstance or question you're asking about. I'm really curious what this is, by the way. Like, please feel free to tell me, because I have no clue if what I'm saying makes sense. But even then, like, I just can't see you saying no to this. Like, it would have to be something really extreme. Like, it would have to be an external force that is so strong or so unyielding that any force or change that could be implemented on your part would be useless, or maybe even put you in danger. But even then, like, I don't know, I still can't see a no happening. But I feel like if that no happened, it would be due to circumstances outside of your control that could affect your safety, or like continuing to go through with this could compromise your morals or your integrity in some way. And I feel like even then you would be open about it, or maybe even share your voice about it. But they're like, for example, like, let's say you get hired at a company and then it comes out like a couple days later, like they use like slave labor or something. Then yeah, I think you would probably say no to that, because who wants to be working for a company like that? That's sad reality we're still facing, that even is a possibility, and it's a disgusting aspect of humanity. But I feel like you are the type of person who couldn't be complicit with something like that, and so you would make a change, you would pivot. But I feel like you are always making decisions from a place of what feels right in your heart, what matches, like what is in alignment with your belief systems. And I would say the only reason you would say no to this is because there's a better opportunity, a better option, or something that would make your value in the situation, like make you less effective in this situation. And if that were the case, then something else would open itself up for you. Like, I never underestimate the power of networking, especially for you. Like, you know a guy, and that guy knows a guy who knows a guy that could get you through a door that you didn't even know exists. So definitely, like, I feel like on one level this could become a no if you get an even better option, or if like there is something dangerous that happens, or something shifts within the collective where it's like, oh, I can't go to this place, or oh, like being in this environment is going to compromise my morals, or oh, I found somewhere where I can serve even better and more people. Like, it definitely seems like it would only be a no if it threatens your safety or would compromise your ability to be effective in what you're trying to do, or something like that, if that makes sense. But ultimately, it would still be your choice to say no. I don't think it would be a no outside of you, but I do think the catalyst for making that no would be forces that are outside of you that are bringing a truth to you, that or bringing knowledge or an opportunity to you that you were previously unaware of, that could change your perspective on the question you're asking about. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're gonna go ahead and finish off with some final guidance for you guys and just see what Spirit wants you to know about this situation. So for that, we have the solar plexus, the theme is expel. The trigger statement is I am being invaded, and the true statement is I am pure. As you align with the frequency of peace, the invasions from outside yourself and the dissonance within are neutralized. So I feel like this is definitely speaking to if there was collective opinion that did not match what you felt and you believed, like that could be something where Spirit is really encouraging you to make sure you're making decisions because they feel right and true to you, not because you want acceptance from a group or you feel like you somehow must be wrong because everybody else thinks this. Like, misinformation is literally rampant, and I'm pretty sure this is the group where I brought up the new Hunger Games book, which is literally all about like propaganda and you know, using media to manipulate people. And I think that you might have to struggle with the reality of, like, you know, a lot of people think that there's actually kind of a quote of this in the book. This is not really a spoiler. It's just a poignant moment that I think is really great. One of the characters in the book talks about how people don't make decisions based on logic. Their emotions, they hear about something, they feel a certain type of way about it, their emotions get engaged, and then they come up with a logical reason as to why that is the case because of the emotion. It was like very poignant and very true. But obviously, like, the truth should piss you off sometimes, and I'm not saying that like general consensus of anything is wrong, but like I am saying when it comes to your own personal journey and your truths, there might be a general consensus that doesn't match yours, that's saying what you're doing is wrong or bad. And that's where you really have to trust yourself and tell yourself, like, I know my heart, I know what I'm doing, I know my purpose. Like, I could use myself for example and say, like, you know, if I had $1 for every misguided, I'm just gonna be honest, it's Christians, because nobody's coming into my comment section using the Torah or the Quran or any other sacred text to shame me. It's Christians that use the Bible and like harass me and tell me that I'm evil and tell me that, like, you know, what I'm doing is really bad and that I'm going to hell. And like, meanwhile, these people have no idea that like I have a relationship with Jesus. I mean, I'm not a Christian, but I love Jesus. So a lot of those people don't even think that that can be a thing, right? And they have no idea that what I do is literally just trying to bring people closer to themselves and closer to what they believe in and be a source of positivity and love in the world. And isn't that what God truly wants? No, because in their head, cards bad, tarot reading bad, tarot reader bad, go to hell. She go to hell, she bad. I have to tell her she bad because I write about everything. Like, it's just the most, like, they don't know what they're fucking talking about. Because they think something, and the reality is like the truth speaks for itself. And the truth of what I'm doing, like, I feel proud of what I do and I feel good about what I do. And that is how you should be about what you're doing and this decision that you're making. Because there will always be ignorant dipshits in the world that speak before they think, that persecute before they even know what they're talking about, and that just have to force their beliefs down other people's throats because they're insecure in their own. And that's why you have to have the fortitude to not let it get to you. And I know me talking about it sounds like I'm letting it get to me, and sometimes it does. But I think if anything, it's just frustrating because I'm like, you know, we probably have more in common than you realize, and you're not even watching this. I mean, thanks for the engagement, but like, I wish, like, I need you to read that book instead of trying to shove it down my throat, because there's a lot in there that would say that your behavior is not okay. But it's not about that, right? And part of your job, I think, in this process is actually realizing that in order to stay sane, you do have to find ways to just keep yourself, to just support yourself and remind yourself, like, how important whatever it is you're doing is, and the truth that you know that's in your heart. Like, that is more important than what anyone else says, because those people don't know shit at the end of the day. They're just saying what they think and projecting their own bullshit onto you. So don't let it affect you. And if it does affect you, don't let it change or corrupt what you know to be true. See it for what it is, a painful experience, and release it with love, and know that it was never yours to carry, and that the sooner you can release it, the better. Because, like, ultimately, people are just gonna do that. Like, it's just what they do. We have to just learn to accept it and not let it get to us so that we can stay sane. Do more of what you love. There we go. So yeah, Spirit is really saying, like, trust in what you believe. Trust in what you know to be true. And trust that there's a reason you're being guided to certain places to begin with. And if you have this idea, like maybe if you've been afraid that you would get a no because like, no, you don't deserve this, or no, like you should be doing something harder, or like there are other people, like I just feel like you don't want to give yourself permission to do more of what you love and like enjoy more of your life and just expand. And the only reasons why you have that are just fears that you're not worthy of it, or fears of like it not working out, or like it's not rooted in reality. It's like some weird, it's like I just feel like you feel like you deserve to punish yourself, and it's not coming from a rational place. It's definitely coming from a wounded place, and it's coming from a place of just not feeling good enough. And I feel like you need to know you are good enough, and like you're not a bad person for wanting to pursue what you enjoy and share that with the world. We also have coincidences. Take note of the coincidences which are occurring around you right now. The universe is trying to have its say in your life. So maybe if there were synchronicities in this video, that could be helpful. But also I really think you just need to trust that like there's a lot more beauty on the horizon for you than I think you can conceptualize. And also I think that this yes was always going to be a yes. I think you just need to accept the fact that you're amazing and capable and like worthy. Like life wants to say yes to you as badly as you want a yes from life. Like you're not doing anything wrong, you're not in trouble, and like you're not a bad person. If anything, the only thing bad about you is just how little you recognize like your own skills, talents, and value in the world. But anyway, we also have nothing is yet set in stone. So I definitely think that it's important for you to continue moving in the direction that you do want. Because like I said, you know, if a no could happen here, and it'll either be entirely out of your control or something that you do because there's a larger narrative that goes against what you think, and you think you're wrong for trusting yourself. But also, I think that like you could say no to this situation. Ultimately, a no happening would be your decision. I don't think the universe is going to say no. And if on the off chance it did say no, and the no came from outside of you, it would just be leading you to something even bigger and better. But I really think like this is a yes. This is an emphatic yes. But there could be details not laid out yet, and I feel like Spirit is really encouraging you to keep your vision strong and trust in yourself. And also, maybe it's time to start making things real. Like if everything is still just kind of, tentative, maybe start booking flights or writing emails or whatever your question is about, maybe start making it real and concrete. That might be helpful. And finally, we have surrender to divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. If a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. So maybe you think you're getting a no because something hasn't happened yet, or you haven't gotten an answer yet. And the reality is the answer is yes. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But just know that you're stronger than any illusion, and that the light of truth in your heart can never corrupt or dissuade you from your truth as long as you stay connected to it. And just know too that a lot of your power lies in you trusting yourself and you honoring yourself, and that is one of the biggest acts of self-love you can ever commit. And like, I just really hope you believe in yourself more, because you are really so capable and so special, and Spirit really just wants to see you smile more, like, and not in like a douchey like you should smile more like catcall way, but just in a like, we just want to see you express unbridled joy more, because you're capable of it and you deserve it. And part of the reason why you're not experiencing it is because you may be denying yourself a little bit, and maybe worrying a little bit too much, or just saying no to opportunities or experiences that you really want to say yes to. So I think Spirit's saying it's time to say yes. It's time to start having more fun, and it's time to share more of yourself, share more of what you want with others, get into groups and environments with these types of people that also love what you love, and start sharing the love more. Everything's going to be okay. And ultimately, you know more than you realize, and you don't have to over intellectualize why you're worthy of a yes. You just are. And that's it. That's it. Everything's going to be okay. And your truth is one of the most precious and special things that you have. Take care of it, protect it, nurture it, and don't let it be corrupted by hateful energies outside of you, because those do you no good. And maybe in some circumstances you need to be a voice of reason in a sea of insanity. That could have something to do with this. I don't know. So pile 4, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. Thank you for giving me more insight into how this reading resonated, because I have no clue if it did or not, but clearly if you're still here, it must have. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my other videos, you can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ASA10 for 10% off. You can check out my I don't know. I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading is what you needed and it resonated, and it made sense, because I have fully no clue what I was saying or what I was doing. But I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 5. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. Pile 5 is weird to say, I do that so little. If you guys chose the Zebra Stone and the Hide Tarot, this is going to be your reading on the answer to your yes or no question. So there's a full breakdown of the reading in the intro if you are interested. We are going to start first by looking at yes or no, what the answer to your question is and why. If the why to your question doesn't make sense, please pick another group because you've picked the wrong one. If the why does make sense, then yeah. If you want to focus your energy on the cards while I'm shuffling and just focus on the question that you have in mind, you can even write it down if you want. Whatever just gets it firmly cemented in your mind. I can't say the word firmly without hearing Patrick Star in my head say firmly grasp it. Firmly grasp your question, please, so that you can get clear answers for you. At least I hope. Give this one more good shuffle, because this card stock is going to rip the skin off my fingers. Okay, so Pile 5's question, Spirit. What is the answer to Pile 5's question? Is it yes or is it no, and why? Okay, so we have Justice in reverse. What is the answer to Pile 5's question? Is it yes or is it no? We have the Seven of Swords upright. What is the answer to Pile 5's question? We have the Moon in reverse. Or that's not the Moon, that's the Knight of Cups. I apologize. I really just be making shit up now. That's not even close to the moon. I just saw that moon. I was like, that's the moon. No. No, babe. That's the Knight of Cups. Okay. Pile 5's question. What is the answer to Pile 5's question? Is it yes or is it no, and why? We have the Seven of Cups upright. And finally, what is the answer to Pile 5's question? Is it yes or is it no, and why? Okay, so the answer is yes. I do not know what question you are asking, But this answer, yes, I do feel there is a strong feeling of it will get better, and there's a lot you're not seeing right now. The answer to this, whatever your question is, the answer is yes. But I don't think that you will feel very confident in me telling you this yes for two reasons. We have the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Swords here. And the Seven of Swords often talks about things like deceit, trickery, can also be self-sabotage or even self-deception, betrayal, things like that. And the Seven of Cups often talks about things like confusion, illusions, daydreaming. And I think whatever you're asking about, you don't have a clear perspective of. And it's likely because of the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Cups here, where I feel like you could definitely be just creating conclusions from a place of woundedness or from a place of past experience, which is understandable. That's what the brain does, right? But I think there is this component here where you don't really have faith in things working out for you. I need you to know, Pile 5, I don't care whether you believe in anything spiritual or not. I mean, you're at a tarot reading, so like, I don't think it would hurt you to maybe be a little bit more open-minded if you're already here. I used to think this stuff was bullshit, and now here I am, a pair of talking hands on the internet. But there is an unlimited amount of loving spiritual energy in the form of angels, the form of guides, and in the form of beings our brains can't possibly fathom, that not only love you so much, but also are actively rooting for your success and also just for your joy. The fact that we have the star here, this really tells me that you're gonna have a hard time believing in and trusting in that the answer to this is actually yes. And I think part of what you need to remind yourself is the fact that you can't anticipate how this yes reveals itself and how the process of this yes becoming real unfolds. I think that one thing that's being highlighted here is I think you have a general belief that things just won't work out for you, or that when things are good, the other shoe will drop. At some point, things will fall away, you will lose, you will miss out. And that's not true. I know it feels true, but it's not true. And I think that what this yes is largely about is recognition of the fact that things are going to get better. Things are not only going to get better, but things are going to get lighter and they're going to feel easier. And a lot of the feelings of insurmountable defeat that you currently feel will dissipate. And I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. If it makes you feel any better, I also am feeling this right now, for my own reasons. So we're in this together. It fucking sucks when you get screwed over by circumstances outside of your control and it shakes up your world. I get it. One of the fun realities of life is that it isn't fair. It just isn't. But that doesn't mean the universe is against you. And that doesn't mean that you're being punished or doing anything wrong. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And, you know, in life, we win some, we lose some. It's just all part of the fabric of experience, right? But really, the reason why you don't feel like this is going to be a yes is because of your past experiences and your beliefs about what you're deserving of and what's possible for you. I think it's a lot harder for you to picture things working out than it is to picture... It's a lot harder for you to picture things working out than it is to picture things, you know, going to shit, or you being screwed over, or you being betrayed. I also think one reason why this is a yes is because you've grown from your past experiences. I don't think you recognize how much you can actually trust yourself. I think you don't trust yourself to be able to detect deception and malicious intent out in the wild. You can a lot more than you used to. because you've been a direct recipient of certain experiences that have taught you that. And I feel like even then, when you doubted yourself in the past, you were shown the reasons why. I feel like you even clocked these things before in the past and you doubted yourself, and then concrete evidence showed up that probably hurt and was painful, that, you know, someone, you couldn't trust someone, or, you know, that your gut was right. And it sucks when that happens, because it's like, damn, I should have trusted myself. But the answer here is yes. And I think what Spirit is saying is that you don't need to trust yourself. You just need to trust in life and trust in your ability to not give up on yourself and to not give up on the idea that things can get better. You don't have to have a super glowy, squirrely, optimistic outlook on life. But you can have hope if you'd like. But I do feel like Spirit is saying we completely understand if you don't have the capacity for that right now. The answer is yes. But I think maybe focusing on the answer to this question would be less beneficial than focusing on what energies within you make it feel like a yes is so impossible, or things working out is so impossible for you that it's hard to picture or believe in right now. Because you can believe in it. It is true. And in fact, a lot of what's making you feel like it isn't possible is like what I've already said, just past experience. And, you know, just an inability to picture what hasn't happened. And that's totally understandable. Can you picture a color that doesn't exist? No, because our brains are only designed to see a certain spectrum of color. Sure, there are other colors. Well, I don't know. I guess that depends on light and like that's some science shit that I don't have any business going into. But what I do know is that hope does exist. This yes does exist. That's a reason why you came to this reading. And better times do exist for you. Just because you haven't seen them yet doesn't mean that they're not real. And I actually think that this yes is a lot more about you realizing and recognizing that even when you don't believe in it being real, and even when you don't think it can happen, the universe will still do everything on its own behalf to make sure it works out for you anyway. Like, even if you're not rooting for yourself, there are tons of people on earth and in the spiritual realms that are rooting for you and want the best for you and pray for the best for you. And you might come to me right now and be like, that's not true, Aso. I have absolutely no one in my life. I'm literally the lone wolf in the entire world. Nobody prays for me. Nobody cares. That's not true. If you go to any comment section that has binaural beats or sound frequencies or healing vibes on it, there's gonna be tons of comments in that comment section where people pray for the well-being of everyone in the world. And guess who's part of everyone in the world? You. And not only that, there are strangers that don't even know you that want the best for you simply because you exist and they know you're out there. It's me, I'm a stranger. And guess what? I bet you're also that stranger, wishing those good things for other people as well. Like, there's a lot more energy behind your evolution and your lighter life. Like, I feel like life is meant to be lighter for you. And that's like the process that you're going through right now. Like, if you asked, like, will things get better? Yes, they will. They will absolutely get better. But I don't know if they'll get better. But they might be, like, getting better, and I don't know if you'll even realize it, because you'll still be, like, in your head, like, oh, things are gonna work out, and I'm not saying that to, like, mock you. That came out kind of, like, breathy and like this. I didn't mean to. I was just looking up, and it did a weird thing to my vocal cords. But and this hoodie's, like, really tight on my neck. So I wasn't doing that intentionally. But what I will say is that things will work out. Things might be actively already getting better and you might not be able to see it, either because you don't trust it, don't feel it's real, or you're still just seeing what isn't right or what isn't working out. Like, and I'm not saying that that isn't valid and that your distress or whatever you're experiencing isn't valid. It totally 100% is. And I would never like sit here and be like, have you just tried like not being anxious? And like, have you just tried like, you know, like being love and light and like seeing the positives? Have you just thought about doing that? Have you just thought about like ignoring your internal experience and like just like being happy? Like, I'm not fucking saying that. Like, what I am saying though is that you can be both as objective as possible about your circumstances and still have hope and believe in that things are getting better and will keep getting better. I also want you to know that you shine more than you realize, and your presence here on this planet matters. And I feel like for some of you, you've tried to leave this place prematurely, and there's a reason why you've failed. It's because you're meant to be here. And that breaks my heart that you've ever even been in that position. But buddy, let me tell you, I understand it. I've been there, and it does get better. But it's still hard sometimes. And it's okay for things to be hard. It's just not okay to give up on yourself. And I feel like ultimately the reason why this answer is yes is because it was always meant to be yes, whatever your question was. And things were always meant to get better. I think you've had a lot of impactful experiences that maybe if you knew ahead of time, you would have avoided or chosen a different path. But you can't change the past. You can't change the past you already chose. Who you have become is just as incredible as who you started out as when you were born. And you will continue to be both an amalgamation of your experiences and who you came here as, and also a constant unfoldment of new discoveries about yourself. You're your own mini universe, you're your own cosmos, and you're a powerful creator. And I really hope that whenever this yes is received in an evidential way, you'll realize that you have even more power than you thought to create even more positive experiences, or experiences you never thought possible because you just didn't know they were available to you, or that you were capable or deserving of receiving them. You always were, and you always will be. Your existence on this planet is sacred, and you've got a mark to leave on humanity, and it's not going to be a negative one. It's going to be a positive one. It's going to be a legacy that you couldn't have envisioned for yourself. And to believe in that, what a great first step to start by believing in the idea that things can get better even if you don't know how. You're really entering a large initiation of co-creation with the universe, where you're able to take steps without necessarily knowing where they're leading you, but trusting they're leading you where you need to go. And you might find you get where you need to go a lot quicker. And there's a lot less internal stress and resistance when you're trusting yourself more. I think you can trust yourself more than you realize. That's actually been a theme in a couple of the readings, is like self-trust, even though they've all been different. But ultimately, this answer is a yes. And I feel like with the star being here, you just need to know everything's going to be okay. And the answer is yes, because it was always meant to be. Like, things need to rebalance themselves. Justice needs to be restored. And part of that justice restoration is making this yes happen. Now, I do want to see if this yes could become a no, or if this yes is always a yes, so that we can see what would prevent, well, I guess unless you want to know, but it just doesn't seem like the vibe of this reading that you would want to know. But if the card comes out upright, this is going to be confusing, so bear with me. So if the card comes out upright, then the answer to this question could change, which means that this yes could become a no. So if it's upright, we'll see how that could happen. So if you don't want it to become a no, you can prevent it. And if you do want it to become a no, you can make it happen. And if the card is reversed and that means no, the answer to this question can only be yes. I know, I should have thought of that before I started this, but like, I trust that you guys are smart enough to keep up. Anyway. Okay. So, Spirit, can the answer to pile 5's question change? Is there any possibility of this answer changing? What do we need to know about pile 5's question? Okay. Yes. Yes, this answer could become a no. But I think the only way that this answer becomes a no is if you fight against the changes happening. And if you are so, like, because you are a creator being. And if you truly believe deep down that, like, nothing will ever get better, and, like, every fiber of your being is affirming that, you know, life is here, like, life will only attack you, like, the unknown is only bad. Like, if you feel like you have to block life out, push life away, not be open and engaged with it, but also just believe, like, it's a dog-eat-dog world and you're just a dog out there, you know, fighting for your bone. I guess. I don't know why that was coming through. I don't believe that this yes will become a no, because I believe that within each and every one of you, there is a powerful spirit that no matter how weary it is, no matter how beaten down it has been, it refuses to give up on itself. And I think that deep down you refuse to give up on yourself. And I think deep down you know that you deserve better and that things can get better. I think it's just really, really hard for your conscious mind to believe how when it hasn't seen evidence of how. And especially if it thinks it doesn't deserve it. And so the biggest uphill battle is not letting your conscious mind corrupt your spirit to the point of giving up. This yes will only become a no if you stop fighting, stop believing in yourself, and just stop living. If you are at a point where things are that bad, please, please, please Google resources for that. I don't feel for all of you that is the case, but there are tons of free resources out there. Please, 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 please know that when you're in that state of mind, I know it's scary and I know it feels real, but it isn't the answer, and you are so loved and you are needed here. Please, please, please don't believe for a second that the world would be better off without you, because it wouldn't. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on life. Life has so much more for you, and you have so much more to offer to others, to offer to yourself, to learn and discover about the you that you are now in this lifetime. The you that you are now in this lifetime is wonderful. And the only way this answer could truly become a no is if you give up on yourself. And you're not going to do that, because I won't let you do that. And I don't think you'll let yourself do that. I know you won't, because within you is a warrior and someone who knows that even when it's hard, and even when I need to take a break, and even when things feel like they are impossible, I know I just have to keep going and not give up, because otherwise, what's the point? And the point is that I think you're going to be a powerful leader one day. I think that you're going to inspire people just like you and remind them and show them that the darkness isn't the full story. It's part of the story, and it will forge you in different ways. But the light's part of the story too. And the darkness is what makes the light so much sweeter. And the darkness is a pivotal part of the human experience. And how can we support others through their own dark times if we don't have those experiences for ourselves, you know? And I feel like at this point I am just rambling. I don't feel like there's really anything that I could say that will truly dissipate that voice in your head that makes you feel like you can't trust what I'm saying, and that makes you feel like this is all a big ploy, like some sick universal joke to get you to believe in yourself so that the universe can see you fall flat on your face again and laugh at you. But that's just not the truth, and it breaks my heart that you even feel that way. But I also completely understand why you feel that way. It's valid. but I don't think you should accept it as truth. But I think what's going to be hard about that is it's not going to be as easy as just changing your mind and releasing it. It's going to be a constant process of redirecting yourself back to faith and something greater that you believe in than the fears that want to come up with concrete conclusions that fill you with dread and terror and make it feel impossible to expand or evolve. This answer could be a no, but I don't think you're going to let it be a no. Period. I guess unless you want to know, but I can't imagine that any of you coming here wanted to know, just based on the vibe of this reading. But you know, I could be wrong. I have no clue if what I'm saying is even on the mark or accurate. But I think it's interesting that you guys chose the High Tarot, because I think what's hidden within you is a powerful being that has integrated both their earthly experiences and the spiritual lessons that their earthly experiences taught them, and have come into a level of self-actualization where there's self-acceptance and also just confidence in self to know that you can navigate challenging things and that you are unbreakable, truly unbreakable. You're like a human kintsugi kit. Anyone tries to break you, you just fix yourself with gold. You're just a constant alchemical process, becoming better and better, whether you realize it or not. I think actually one of the true crimes of this situation is you'll never get to see how wonderful and how needed you truly are. And that's where, once again, it comes back to faith. You have to trust there's a reason you're here, why you are the way that you are, why you have your certain quirks, why you have your certain convictions, and why you're passionate about certain things. All the pieces that make you you matter. And yeah, if you give up on yourself, I'm gonna go into the spirit world and beat your ass. I'm not even fucking kidding, dude. Like, if I'm in this, you're in this, all right? We're not giving up, okay? And I know it might seem a bit weird, or like, listen, humans have a lot more in common than we realize. And like right now, we really gotta like keep the love, keep the compassion, and keep the mutual support going. Cause shit's rough out there. But that doesn't mean that we should give up, because we need to keep going, not only for ourselves, but for others, and for a world better than one that we can even envision. I think we're all part of that in our own ways, and you have your role, and I have mine, and we're never, ever gonna give up. We can take breaks, but we're never gonna give up. I promise I'll never give up. Promise me you won't either. The world needs both of us. Pinky. And I just can't even imagine the type of impact you're going to have if the universe is this passionate about letting you know how much support and how many people are just rooting for you. Like, I'm thinking of you are Carrie Strug at the Atlanta Olympics. Was it 1996? I don't know, but she did some crazy gymnastic shit on a broken foot and brought the gold home for USA. And like, was it great she was doing that in the first place? No, that's a whole other conversation, you know. But think about that moment. Like, she was an entire country's hero in that moment. Because she did what she needed to do. She stuck her landing, right? Okay, imagine that times a million. Universal energy cheering you on as you do your role. And you stick the landing perfectly. And you play an integral role in making the world and bringing more gold to the world. More alchemical wisdom, more love, more hope, more healing, more wisdom. You're capable of bringing all of that. I don't know why the gymnastics allegory came through, but you know, if you just look at the crowd when she sticks that landing and times it by 1,000,000, I know your brain can't conceptualize that, but like try to, like that's how many living beings and other beings out in the universe are just rooting for you to succeed and believe in yourself and stick your landings. And even though you may not be able to hear the cheers on the other side, know that they're there. And you may not be able to hear them, but you'll feel them in your heart. And I actually feel that so strongly, I like want to start crying. Like, you will feel it, and I need you to know that, like, it'll all be worth it. I promise. I promise. Everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be better than okay. And you're more than capable. You're capable of a lot more than you realize. Whew, whew. I gotta recenter myself. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this reading off with some final guidance for you. Hopefully it's beneficial and useful, because I have no clue if any of what I said is real or helpful to you, but I would imagine if you're still here, probably. So, okay. The trigger statement is, I cannot go on, and the true statement is, my heart is light. Please hold space for the feelings you have, honor them and be with them. Your burden will be light. Okay, well, the burden of knowing that, okay, this is comforting just for me to be like, okay, I was not out in left field. That makes me feel so much better. This is consolation for me. I hope it's consolation for you. Your heart, when in doubt, when you feel lost, when you want to give up, connect to your heart. And also think about the little version of you. The little version of you that believed in yourself. The little version of you that believed in the world. They're still in there. They're still inside of you. Don't give up on them, because they need you. And you need them too. They're the part of you that reminds you that anything is possible and sees the world in terms that we often lose as we become adults. When you feel like you can't find yourself, connect to your heart. And you'll remember you're always connected to yourself. It's just your conscious awareness of it may differ at times. Ah, yes, bitch! I fucking told you. Ha ha ha. You're gonna be successful. You have to deal with it. Ha 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 ha. You're gonna have tons of blessings. Suck it up. You're gonna succeed. You have no choice but to surrender to the reality that life is going to be better than beyond your wildest dreams, and you have no choice but to succeed. Motherfucker, I told you. I love this guidance. Yay. Okay, we also have choose. You choose how you feel, react, and perceive everything in your life. Choose to only see through love and positivity. And I think that this is an excellent card, because this could be debatable, right? Depending on like how you're seeing things. Cause I do feel like when if you're trying to adopt this attitude, but it feels like harmful to you, or it feels invalidating to what you're going through, then don't adopt this until it feels empowering for you to make a choice, rather than feel like you're doing something wrong because you feel like you can't choose anything else. This perspective is great when it empowers you. It's not great when it makes you feel invalidated for what you're experiencing and like you're doing something wrong for having that experience. But I do think it will be really helpful for you as you process a lot of this emotion. I think there's going to be a lot of, if you find yourself like randomly crying in the near future, that's likely just going to be like pent up emotion being released and stuff like that. As that's released, it'll probably get easier for you to encourage yourself to look at things through a lens of love and positivity. And that would be a great perspective to have when you're feeling bogged down and it's hard to have faith. But if you are in the thick of it and going through it, and guidance like that makes you angry and feel like shit, don't take it on. But maybe put it off to the side for another time and look at it when you're in a more centered and less emotionally intense place, and see if it just fits better then. Even then, you still don't have to take it, but I do think it could be a beneficial perspective to help you see through the fear and confusion that your conscious mind has been conjuring. If that makes sense. But we also have surrender to the divine, and did I not say that this, like, you're entering a conscious co-creative process with the universe? Yeah. And I literally said, like, the divine is behind you 100%, rooting for you. I feel like there's a lot of spiritual resources that are working towards your best interests and making sure on their end that they have got you set up as best as they possibly can. Almost like a spiritual social worker or something. I don't know. I guess it's a job that wears many hats. But all it's really doing is trying to set you up. Basically pitching the best throws to make sure you hit home runs. Nothing shady. They love you, and they want you to succeed as badly as you do. And finally, we have surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. So, yeah, if there is someone else involved in this, you might have to look at where maybe you're waiting for them to change. But I think that this is about yourself. Like, I feel like you think that you need to be fixed. And I think that the reality is you don't. I think that what you've gone through, your painful experiences, the wounds that you've received as a result, like, those are important aspects of your being. While they shouldn't be, while they're not meant to be, like, at the forefront of your psyche every single day and be so debilitating you can't move forward, they're not a sign that you're flawed or messed up. They're an important aspect of your human experience, and not one where it's like, well, you have to suffer to see the light. It's more like, it's kind of just part of being human, and it's part of life. Like, and it not only makes you capable of empathy and compassion, but it's also meant to be part of your lived experience. It's meant to inform part of it, and the most important aspects of it are the aspects where you will realize, like, oh, I was never, like, wrong or bad for this, or oh, this helped me realize that I deserve better here. Or it's like the wisdom that comes from these experiences will be so invaluable. And also, it will feel so good for you to be able to support other people who will be where you are now, and be able to say, look, I've been here. Here's what I've done. Here's how I move through it, and be a support system even if you can't change that. I also feel like, though, maybe you've been avoiding dealing with yourself and dealing with your life because you've been focused on others. And I think that Spirit is really saying this is the time to focus on you, and also the time to take a look at where your focus is, especially if you're focused on circumstances or factors outside of your control that are making you feel really debilitated and like things can't get better. Don't focus on that. Focus on your role. Be the change you want to see in the world. I used to think that quote was bullshit, and now I fully believe in it. And I just want you to know, you've got this. You are going to do amazing things, and I cannot wait for the world to receive more of your beautiful voice and your vision and whatever you have to offer from your heart, because those are going to be the most powerful offerings, and that's really what one of the things that you came here to do. That's really important. So pile 5, that's where I'm going to leave this reading. I really hope this resonated. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. So thank you to everyone who does that. If you'd like to show me support or appreciation in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch. You can check out my social media. You can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ISA10 for 10% off. You can check out other videos. You can like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to everybody who does that. It's super helpful. Shout out to my intro squad. I love you guys. And my notification squad. I also love you guys. So that is all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!